Welcome. Let's join in a meditation song on page 28. We are one. We are one with each other as we share the love of the Christ within. We now open our hearts and our minds to receive. We are open, ready, willing, accepting, receiving our great good. Let's just for a moment unify by closing our eyes if we choose, taking a breath of mother love. Breathe in and out to the world, and know that we are coming together on this beautiful Mother's Day to celebrate not only the earth mothers that we love and who have nurtured us, but the earth mother in each individual, man or woman, that side of God that is nurturing, loving us, our own inner Christ. So we come today to honor that aspect of our inner being, our inner Christ, our own Mother God. But let's come back with another breath. Breathe in and open our eyes. And welcome to the teaching of the inner Christ. My name is Jennifer Allen-Prather, and I'm an inner Christ counselor and a licensed prayer therapist here at the teaching of the inner Christ. And I welcome you all. The teaching of the inner Christ is a non-denominational, metaphysical, new thought teaching that is open to all denominations. And it teaches those who so desire to gain conscious contact with their own inner divinity, which we call our inner Christ, in a conscious way, so that we have guidance and we're never alone for the rest of our lives. We teach that through classes online and in the church, and we teach that through our Wednesday evening meetings, which we call Faith Lift meetings, and our Sunday services. We have a portion of our service that allows each one of us, if we so choose, to inspire others by telling us about any prayer demonstrations they may have received in this last week. Is there anyone here who would like to share with us and inspire us about a prayer demonstration? Yes, Rachel.
I have a little one, but it was a big thing, and I've gone through this challenge with my heart and everything, operation, and so I had different people coming, watering in my yard and all of this and that, and so it was a challenge to. I had this thing of the iris. I have an iris that I started last August, and so last Saturday I went. And I just grabbed one and went to the Irish show last Saturday, and I got a blue ribbon.
Wow.
That is a demonstration of healing.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for sharing that.
That was cool.
That's great. Beautiful flower, which is, it tells us about life also, everlasting. Well, I have a demonstration in that there was a memorial service yesterday for my mother, and I felt that it was the most joyous, the most fulfilling, and I felt such completion after it was over, and I felt so much love. And I want to thank each one of you from the bottom of my heart, honoring my mother. And that's the teaching of the inner Christ gave us this beautiful spray of flowers. So I'm sharing that all with you. And I can feel my mother's presence even deeper now. So thank you for that. And that was a prayer demonstration. Are there any others? Okay. Well, hopefully you have received in your packet today a prayer slip. So during the service, we'll be filling those out, and if you choose, or you can silently know in your heart what you wish to have prayed upon, and we'll do a prayer over your prayers. And if anyone has a prayer that they would like to submit to the prayer circle, they know that there is a box in the back of the room, and they can submit their slips there, and our prayer circle will pray for 2 weeks. Just put a PC on the corner. And please do let us know the progress of your prayers. If they seem to need more juice from us, then please let us know that. Or if they have demonstrated, please let us know that too. And if you choose to give us a donation, that would be great, but it's not necessary. So it's in that little box at the end of service. We now have a group song. It's in page 64. They'll know we are Christ by our love in our songbooks. Let's stand and sing this song. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Word, we are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Word, and we know that all unity will one day be restored, and they'll know we are Christ by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christ by our love. We will work with each other, we will work side by side. We will work with each other, we will work side by side. And we'll know each man's dignity and see the Christ inside. And they'll know we are Christ by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christ by our love. All praise to the Father from whom is Son, and all praise to Christ Jesus and the Christ everyone, and all praise to the Spirit who makes us all one, and they'll know we are Christ by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christ by our love. Thank you. Please be seated. I did want to interject here today that Reverend Kayla Rose Carroll is not able to attend today because she's in the hospital with her father. And I ask that you please send your love and prayers to her and her family. It seems as if he's making his transition. So please send your love and prayers.
Oh, absolutely.
We have actually an event coming up in June, on June 25th through the 28th. It's our yearly special event. And how many are signed up for our spiritual celebration in Temecula? Very good. Fabulous. Well, I urge you, I think we have a few places left to sign up for it, because it will set the mood for the rest of the year for you. It's like throwing a rock in a pond and watching those rings of the water go farther and farther and farther. And that's how spiritual celebration seems to affect most people when they go. So please see one of us after the service if you wish to sign up, or if you only wish to go for a day, we can do that too. Is there anything that's coming up that I may have missed that anybody would like to announce? Okay. Well, we have a very special musical event performed by our dear member, Marvin Dillard. And he is going to be singing These Are the Things That Matter. Please welcome Marvin.
I couldn't seem to find the Mother's Day song, so this one alludes to family in some respects. A heart that's concerned for a fellow man, an ear that will hear and will understand, an eye that will look for the best in a man. These are the things that matter. A precious child that is yours to claim, with trust in his eyes when he calls your name, to live in a home and let love reign. These are the things that matter. To know that this life is for such a short time, and to know there's a God, and to know He's divine, and to know He walks beside you all the time. These are the things that matter. A heart that's concerned for a fellow man, an ear that will hear and will understand, an eye that will look for the best in a man. These are the things that matter.
That was quite appropriate, thank you. Our inspirational reading today is taken from the Holy Bible, the George Lamsa translation, and it is taken from, and most people know this, from 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 8. Love is long-suffering and kind. Love does not envy, love does not make a vain display of itself, and does not boast. Does not behave itself unseemly, seeks not its own, is not easily provoked, thinks no evil. Rejoices not over iniquity, but rejoices in the truth. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. Now I want to add to that. And now abide faith, hope, love, these three. But the greatest of these is love. Now a woman who shows great love for the teaching of the inner Christ and has been active in the teaching of the inner Christ in service as a teacher and a healer for many, many years, going back, I believe, to the 1960s. She is here to talk to us today about remembering our great mother. Please welcome with me Rev Dr. Brigitte Heimens.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mother's Day, remembering our great mother. Today, as each one is knowing, it is a very special day. For today we really celebrate Mother's Day as we give thanks for the gift of mother love, synonymous with motherhood in general and our great mother within. We express our appreciation for mothers, and I would like to add for everyone who has helped us to be the best that we can be. This certainly includes our beautiful higher selves on all levels, from our soul level to the Christ level, the I am self level, all the way to universal and cosmic self. And as we sit here in our chairs, let's get in touch right now with the deep feelings we cherish, feelings of gratefulness, which fill our minds and hearts at this moment as we direct our loving energy toward our mother. In fact, the mother we have on all levels. So thank you and happy Mother's Day. So whether we are a mother or not, love is the word for this day. Mothers everywhere and those who do parenting deserve our love and our praise today and every day. I would like to share with you a poem which could have been printed on a Mother's Day card. The author is unknown, and here I quote. As children, we can't comprehend or fully realize the meaning of our mother's love, how tender and how wise. Her patience and her guidance, her helpful, caring ways, the special, thoughtful things she does to brighten up the days. Years go by before we know the depths of her concern, the love in her protectiveness. It takes so long to learn. For as we grow, we understand, as we look back and see, through older eyes and wiser hearts, her love and loyalty. It's these and many other things that make her grow more dear, more admired and more appreciated with every passing year. End of quote. So as we celebrate our mothers in this way, we are reminded of all the dear ones who have had a significant role in our growth and unfoldment. Therefore, let us bless fathers and teachers and anyone who has filled the role of mother and friend. They all are included today. We bless grandparents and other family members and every person in our lives who has contributed to our happiness and success. It occurred to me the other day that most of us at one time or another may have searched for love in all the wrong places. Perhaps when we felt empty inside, or somehow incomplete, or had a disconnect with our own I am self. We may have looked to another person to fill the void and make us whole. Then we may have found repeatedly this approach never worked. And so we recognize quickly everything in our lives starts from the inside, working its way to the outer parameters, which includes the Great Mother aspect of the universal God within each of us, as manifested by our I am self or Christ self. The question we must ask ourselves is not how to get more love, but rather how to express more love, more of the gift of love as our mother would. And in this way celebrate motherhood, or the great mother aspect of the universal God. So let us be reminded that we are already whole, perfect and complete beings. And no other person in the world can make us any more whole, any more perfect or complete. So love is a divine attribute, and therefore we already possess all the love we need, for we are nothing less than individual expressions of the divine. So we need only remain open and entirely without self-consciousness receive and pass on that which God has given us as our birthright. So all we have to do is to get in touch with our love feelings. We experience love feelings on the human level, but there's also the level of divine love. We derive great satisfaction and joy from divine love, which is entirely free of any expectations of reciprocity. Yet it always leaves us filled with a warm glow of connectedness to everyone we meet. I wonder if you have experienced that also. You just kind of feel this vibration that goes between several people. To this day, I still can remember the warm feeling of connectedness when I was in my mother's womb. These were feelings of her unconditional love. When I was a teenager, my mother shared with me some precious thoughts. I learned that she carried me to term with great care and anticipation, especially since several years earlier she had miscarried twin boys. 7 months into the pregnancy, and the doctors had told her she could never have another child. But she disproved the doctor's prediction and got pregnant with me, which she considered a miracle. And not only that, 13 months later, another miracle happened in our family when my sister was born and welcomed with great joy. And 7 years after that, the two sisters of us, we wanted a brother. We wanted a baby brother and had put sugar on, the windowsill. Every evening we did that. And in those days, of course, there was no sex education in our school classes. So we believed in the stork.
Yeah.
Bringing babies. So, I guess the stork finally saw that sugar and brought us a baby brother to complete the family. And not only did the stork bring us the baby brother, but he was born on the birthday of my dad.
Oh.
So that was such a special day, and I still remember my mother said she had to go to the hospital, and Hedwig would come, and my mother had put presents for us to give to Dad on his birthday while she was gone, and he wasn't really respecting that very well, because he always said, "I hope she holds out until tomorrow." So every desire in our family was fulfilled. We had a brother, my dad had a son, and he was born on his birthday. So, And I can say this, my mother gave unconditional love to all of us children in different ways, because we each were different and had different needs, always according to our needs, I feel. From the time we were small children to the time we left our home, my mother put her comforting arms around us, because she could sense, for instance, if one of us came back from school and had maybe something that wasn't going right in school, she could sense that. And she also, was there for us when we had other emotional hurts, or when we felt frightened. Remember, in those days, war was raging, World War II. And we had, every night we heard the sirens, and we had to all get dressed quickly and go down in the basement of the house and put up with these terrible bombing attacks. And I remember I must have been a very sleepy girl, because my mother usually had to come into my room several times to wake me up and get dressed. And so it was an interesting experience the entire time when I was growing up in the early years. And my mother's hugs and kisses and those of my dad have been an important part of our lives. So can you think of anything more comforting than having such loving parents? Remember how difficult it must have been at that time. We had rations, and it was a difficult time, and we didn't understand who was responsible and why did we have a war. Obviously, children don't know these things. So we all can celebrate our great mother and express the gift of mother love through listening. My mother always made time for us to listen to what we wanted to tell her about school, about our folk dancing classes, about music lessons we had. In short, she was interested in everything happening in our young lives, and she made time for that. She sat down, even in the middle of, maybe it was cooking time, but she would sit down and she would listen. And as you know, listening is an art, and it needs practice. But we have to get in touch with our feelings first in order to focus them later on that person talking to us. And I never forgot that in my career as well. We all can celebrate our great mother and express the gift of mother love through understanding. My mother seemed to know so well when to give in and when to say no. When to say no to us children. But she always gave explanations. It was never just a no. She would give explanations, and she treated us with patience and with respect. I guess children are the same all over the world. When they can't get something from mom, guess what they do? They try dad when he comes home from work. So my dad outsmarted us children, because after he would listen to us, he then would ask us, "Na, was hat denn die Mutti gesagt?" And that means, "Well, what did your mother say?" So my parents worked together as a team. Of course, I only recognized much later, really, how wise they actually were. So when mom had said no, then dad would say, well, then, that's what it is. We all can celebrate our great mother and express the gift of mother love through guidance. My mother did not give us a lot of rules, which she herself might not have followed. She always guided us by setting example. But she also let us experience our own mistakes. So, however, I remember that I always fared much better consulting with my mother first because if I could use her wisdom in a certain situation, then I didn't have to find it out myself the hard way. So of course I was free to make another mistake in a different area of my life and learn from that. So setting example is a good method to guide. When I was a professor at the University of San Diego, I celebrated motherhood and used the great mother within every new semester as I would meet new students, especially freshman students, I remember, who were away from their mom and dad for the first time in their lives, needed somebody to substitute for them. And so they sought me out in my office during office hours, not to know something about German, but they needed somebody to share and to unload whatever they were dealing with. But at the end of the semester, they usually had mastered that new page in their lives. And it was amazing, you know, how I could observe how they grew in one semester. A number of them would plan to be in the study abroad program for the following semester. So it gave me always great joy to observe how independent they had become compared to the beginning of the semester. They were ready for an even greater experience in a different culture. And I had a practice at the end of every semester. I invited the students over at our house for dinner. So even though I'm vegetarian, but I made rouladen, you know, which is a meat dish and a very German dish. So I wanted them to experience some of the food as well. And it was great fun because, you know, when you are outside of the class and together with the other students, there's so much that comes up that you don't know during the semester. So it was fun. So today, as we honor our earthly mother or another female relative or friend, we honor too our common cosmic mother, the divine parent of us all, present always in everyone. So we know that by tapping into the creative principles of the universe, we may become the mother, father of great ideas. But let us also know together, love is recognized. Love is not learned. You recognize it. You don't learn it. You know it and you give it. So although it is described in different ways by people from different cultures, my experience in traveling to different parts of the world has taught me that people everywhere want to love and want to be loved. And that starts already, let's say, on a trip. If I go to Europe usually every year, on the airplane, you have somebody sitting next to you, and before you know it, there's a conversation, and it carries on, you know, not just on the plane, but wherever you might be. My sister and I, when we go shopping, we use the tram, and there would be somebody across, and they would start some conversation, but you could feel, you know, it was kind of a loving sharing and so forth. So let's express it unconditionally as our gift of mother love through our inner guidance, through our deep feelings, our connectedness to those around us. This is a day to celebrate motherhood in the form of our great mother within, and to contemplate the power of love. Love is a common bond. We all desire love, and also we want to share it. And here at the teaching, I think anybody who is new or has not been very long here, you will feel, usually we hug here. We are great huggers at the teaching of the Inner Christ. But sometimes, you know, it's a good idea to ask a new person if they are open to hugging, because we don't want to overwhelm. So However, I think love is always something that is contagious. So in closing, let me share a part of today's message from the Daily Word. You know, the Daily Word is put out by Unity. And for today, Sunday, Mother's Day, it reads as follows, quote, "Today I celebrate mothers everywhere, biological mothers, adoptive mothers, and my mother, women who are trailblazers, caregivers, mentors, and mothers to the masses. I celebrate Mother Nature in all her glory and the divine feminine as part of me. Motherly spiritual qualities contribute to peace, healing, and joy in the world and in my life. I take a moment to reflect on a time when I comforted a child. Perhaps I listened, hugged, or shared encouraging words. I call to mind memories of when I felt nurtured, held, or lifted up by someone else. The act of mothering is so important. I am grateful for feminine spiritual qualities, enriching my life and the life of family and friends." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rev Brigitte. And now we have the opportunity to give of our offerings of tithes and gifts to the teaching of the inner Christ. And before we do that, let's look in your program on page 9, and let's say the blessing of the offering together. Thank you, great Mother aspect of the universe, for all that you have showered upon me, so that I can, in turn, give back to my wonderful world in your name. Let's sing, Lord, I do give thee thanks, on page 74 of your songbooks. Yasher, would you please come forward? Lord, I do give thee thanks for the abundance that is ours. Lord, I do give great thanks for the abundance that is ours. All that we ask we receive. All that we're seeking we find. Each door we knock on is open to us. Now I can see by the light in my mind. Lord, I do give great thanks for the abundance that is ours. Lord, I do give great thanks for the abundance that is ours. For the abundance that now is ours. We thank you, wonderful God, for these gifts. We know that they enrich the givers and they enrich the teaching of the inner Christ, going out to the world, harmonizing, bringing peace, love, and joy. Thank you, God, and so it is. Thanks. Now, this is the part of the service that we spoke about earlier. We're going to say a prayer which we call Rukat, which means recognition, the R, unification, the U, claim, the C, and acceptance, the A, and T, we give thanks. So those of you who have written out a prayer, You can certainly hold that to your heart, or if you already know what you want to pray, you can just keep that in your heart as well, and we'll go ahead with it. There is only one God. And God is all-knowing, all-seeing, all-acting, all-wise, all-loving, abundant God. And we are one with that all-loving, all-knowing, all-seeing, all-acting, all-wise, abundant God. And we claim today, whatever it is that we so desire, the demonstration of that desire. And we accept that we now forgive anything that may have seemed to keep us from achieving that desire. We forgive ourselves, we forgive others, we forgive circumstances and events. And we now know and accept that God is giving us exactly what we need through our faith, through our knowing that God always gets the job done. And we give thanks in advance for our good, manifesting and coming to us. We know it because we know that God always gives us what we need. And we release this treatment into the universal law, right here and right now, as it manifests exactly what we need in the perfect right way. Thank you, wonderful God, and so it is. And we have another treat from Marvin Dillard. He's going to be singing "Take Time to Be Holy." Please welcome him now, because we're going to be going right into meditation afterwards. Marvin?
This little hymn, this old hymn makes me think of things that my mom taught me from an early age, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here that can identify with it. Take time to be holy, speak oft with the Lord, abide in Him always, and feed on His word. Make friends with God's children, help those who are weak, forgetting in nothing His blessing to seek. Take time to be holy, be kind in thy soul. Each thought and each motive beneath His control, thus led by His Spirit to fountains of love, thou soon shalt be fitted for service above.
So now, let's settle into our chairs and take a deep breath of love. Breathe in and out. And another such wonderful, loving breath. Breathe in and out to share and spread around as we are comfortable in our chairs and we know our surroundings and we settle into it as we now envision, if we so desire, a beautiful white light coming through our crown chakra to relax our facial area, our eyes, our eyelids, our cheeks, our cheekbones, our lips, our ears, the back of our head. Another gentle breath, breathe in. To feel this white light now relaxing our neck area, our shoulders, all the big muscles across our shoulder, relaxing our upper arms, our lower arms. We allow any resistance to leave through the tips of our fingers. We take another gentle breath, breathe in and out, and we feel this white light relaxing now our chest area, our abdominal area. All our back is relaxed. We feel this relaxing white light going through our upper legs, our lower legs, and again we allow any resistance to leave the tips of our toes. We now relax our conscious mind. If we so desire, we can put our thoughts on the shelf for now. And we relax our subconscious mind, that wonderful servant. We relax it by sending it love, by sending it light. And as we now go into the silence, we listen what our I am selves or Christ selves may tell us. Or if we had a question before, we may receive an answer as we are now in the silence. Gently now, let us prepare to return from this meditation. So we reawaken now our subconscious mind. Let us take a gentle breath to reawaken our conscious mind. And let's now move our physical body to feel that we are again awakening, alive, alert, and in control. Would you like to say that with me? I am alive, awake, and in control. And when we are ready, we can open our eyes. Here we are.
Everybody back?
No.
All right. In your program, on page 9, we have an affirmation for the coming week. Let's say that together. Thank you, great Mother aspect of the universal God, for assisting me in recognizing the birth of my inner Christ and being guided how to share this with others in my world. Thank you, God. Just as a reminder, we have our Wednesday Faith Lift at 6:30, and it is being led by me. Jennifer Allen-Prather, her therapist and a Christ counselor. And that's at 6:30. And also I wish to thank Rev Brigitte Heimens for your wonderful talk today about our mother aspect and our mothers. I wish to thank Marvin Dillard for your beautiful music, very appropriate, thank you. And thank you, Ann Delamo, for your beautiful music as always. And thank you, Judy Holmes, for your help in ushering today. And thank you to Elaine Fuller-Zaki for her help in the kitchen. As usual, she's always been a wonderful help. And it has been my honor to lead this service today.
Let's thank
And yes, thank you, Jeanette, our fledgling videographer. Thank you very much for being here to video our Sunday services for our people out in the field. So let's gather around and sing Love is the Only Power on page 17 if you don't already know it.
plan for the next week? Fill yourself with love and give it away.
Okay.
Mary,